This is my beautiful Turkish pot that I am making my coffee in. I have no affiliation with the makers of these beautiful copper things, but they are gorgeous work of art. I just wanted to show this to you. Look at this craftsmanship. And the handle is wooden. So, because normally you make your coffee in a hot sand, you have charcoal and you have a bed over it filled with sand, and you need to be able to manipulate like this over the sand all the time, making sure that your coffee is not going to overboil and run away. This is my beautiful coffee maker. I'm going to show you how I'm making my coffee. Since yesterday I showed this beautiful jazve. I showed this beautiful jazve pot for coffee you're making a Turkish style, Turkish way. And you probably were all curious how to make it. Now I'm going to make this coffee for you. Okay, we started making our coffee. Here I have my Costa Rican coffee. I brought it with me when I traveled to Costa Rica. And now I use this wooden spoon to put coffee right into the jazz. And maybe one more spoon. So to make it rather strong, you so this is the spoon, and I put four wooden spoons like that. And you pour some water, and you pour water into it. And then you start boiling it. So the process has to be watched closely throughout the entire time when the coffee is being made, because this is this type of the drink that it can overflow the jazve, and then it means you ruined your coffee, you ruined your stove, you ruined everything, and you wasted your coffee. That's why it's very, very important that you watch the process all the time. It takes about 5 minutes. It's not that such a lengthy process, and that's why it's when the coffee is made this way, it's considered to be a personal honor, especially if you are offered a cup of coffee in the countries where coffee is being made this way. It means that you're being offered a that you're honored, because someone is going to overlook the process of making this coffee. This coffee will it's made under personal attention, and it means that personal attention, extra attention, is extended to you personally. The warmer coffee becomes, the more interesting process is. You see all these beautiful ornaments on the surface of coffee, and it's like coffee is talking to you and telling you something. That's why the process of making coffee is an ancient one, and you definitely can't experience anything like this when you're using your coffee dripper or Keurig machine or anything else. Of course, it's much faster that you're doing with those modern appliances, but this is century-old process, centuries old process of making coffee is very, very special. And a real coffee is being served in the cups this small, and that's why this size of Jesuit can serve 3 coffees and 3 cups of coffee, and you can share it with your friends. It's strong. Normally it's just enough to have this much of coffee, and also it's a special ceremony. It's like old English tea ceremony. Here is the coffee ceremony. And now that's where your attention is required when you're making coffee. This is the very important moment that the coffee is about to boil, and you want to make sure that the foam of the coffee is thick and it's going up, and you're not allowing it to boil to 100% when the process. Look at this, we are just watching very, very closely. We see that this is the essential moment, because if you overlook coffee at this moment, then you lost your coffee, and that's why I'm going to keep quiet. Now you see why the handle is wooden, because it's always sits over the heated stove or sand or coals, and you have to be able to hold this at all times. And the coffee is rising, and on edges it starts boiling, and that's when you this is very, very important moment. The edges are turning dark brown, and that is your time where you lift it away from the heat. You're letting it sit again, bring it down, and then you do it again. And you repeat this procedure 3 times. So I do at least this way. And don't allow it to boil. And now we have our perfect coffee, and I'm going to pour it into this cup. And this is my first cup of coffee, and it's ready, and I'm going to enjoy this coffee. And the rest of the coffee I'm going to pour into this special mug that I have. And the rest of the coffee I'm going to have in this my very special mug. This is my Don Peppa's, my cat's mug. I love it. And let me pour the rest of my coffee over here. I'm going to enjoy my coffee in my backyard. That was when I used, so this is my mug. This is a real way how you serve Turkish coffee. Very strong, very hot, very strong. It's going to keep me energized for the rest of the day. And that coffee is being made in this beautiful pot, jazvi, the Turkish coffee pot, jazvi, and in Russia we call it turka, because it was related to Turkey, the country of Turkey, and I hope that eventually you'll be able to make that coffee too at home.